Everyone, welcome to ZuluNet, and we got a tactical overview of the linked battle report here. We've got 2,000 points Death Guard versus Imperial Guard, and similar names, not to be confused. Yeah, very, very different armies, very different takes. It was a great game. I felt going into it personally, I played Death Guard pretty, what's the right word? Like I had a chance, the snowball's chance in hell, basically, of winning, and it actually came out to be pretty dang close. I've got Kyle here. He's got an Imperial Guard player.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, and yeah, so if you're new to this, this tactical overview is a deep dive into the battle report. In the battle report, we go very little, if at all, into any sort of analysis. This is the deep dive analysis, in depth into the strategy, the lists that we brought, why we brought them, what tactics we were trying to use or take advantage of, what we were thinking, stratagems, blah, 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 so on and so forth. All that stuff, really open-ended. So please, I hope you guys enjoy it. Hope we all learn something from this, learn from our mistakes, maybe if we did anything good, hopefully. But also, like, please comment, if we screw anything up. And also, if you have any further insight, if you have any ideas, different tactics that might work, they've worked for you before or whatnot, throw them down in the comments and we can this could be a forum, kind of a lessons learned forum, if you will. So, yeah, so let's, we'll get right into it.
Yeah, Patrick needs a lot of lessons.
Yeah, I do. But you do too. You do too.
Yeah.
No. Well, that's the thing about 40K, man, is like, man, it's so in depth, dude, that you have to spend so much time just playing one singular faction before you even get all of the, really get a handle on it. But then even that, there's further, like, actual just practical limitations on your ability to learn even one faction, because you may not have all of the units in the codex at your disposal models wise, and then you even if you don't have them, you might not have the money to go out and buy it because this stuff is expensive, So
yeah,
I think that's why this particular format could be so beneficial, especially to newer players, or people just trying to get a hang of stuff, is to really like take this chance and do this deep dive. And then the real thing is this is not to highlight things that we did well. This is to learn from our mistakes. Every time we do this, I end up walking away with like, cool, let's not do that. This is what this rule really means. Things that I probably should have down pat, but
down pat.
Oh, I did it. No pun intended, or was there? Yeah. So yes, so we got the armies here, and we are gonna go ahead and skip right ahead. If you haven't seen the battle report, go ahead and check it out. Or otherwise, you're not gonna know what the crap's going on.
Oh, this deployment, man. So this deployment type, it really threw me. Even while I was deploying, like, we're in opposite corners here, but so along the top side there, you can't really see it, but I was like, putting my parking lot back there with my artillery and my Lehman Russes. And I kept looking down the edge of the table thinking, oh man, he can get line of sight here turn one. That's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Because I'm so used to just like, that's your half, this is my half, not kitty corner.
Right.
So that deployment really kind of pushed me out of my comfort zone. And I did make, not a mistake, but a less than ideal position for one of my tanks, my Punisher. Looking back on this, I do not like where I put that Punisher. It didn't. It's a very short range with that Punisher cannon on it.
Yeah,
24 inches, and your infantry was not concentrated on that side. I ended up using that Punisher to concentrate on Demon Princes, which it does not excel against, and I found that out very quickly.
Right.
But that was not only a targeting opportunity that I had, but the only thing I really could target without exposing the tank to more things that it didn't want to be exposed to.
Right. Yeah, it was. I don't know. I mean, even if you put it over here, though, I mean, my deployment is kind of symmetrical. You know, like I've got enough infantry just thrown about to, even if you put it over here, you might have, yeah, sure, you could. I had what, 1, 2, 3 squads over here. Okay, well, I had a squad down back here deployed, and I moved them up right here, right? So. But maybe it would have gone the other way because he was deployed right here. But my point being is that you could have ended up dealing with the same thing. And real quick, for those that haven't either seen the battle report, or honestly, even with the battle report, it's hard to see because of the kind of lighting effects that I got going on here, and then also the fact that Kyle's predominant theme color in his army is black. He's got 2 Basilisks right here, and then his Lehman Russ is right here and right here. And then you have 2 infantry squads in this building, right? 2 infantry squads, the Primaris Psyker, and not to be confused with Primaris Space Marines. It's just just the OG Primaris that is boring. Or is it the other way around? And then 5 Crusaders. Is there anything else in there?
No, I don't think there was. Just the 2 infantry squads, Crusaders, and the Psyker, just all hiding in there.
Yep, and then those Basilisks are just really, really well hidden back there. That color. Yeah, and then otherwise you got what, 2 infantry squads over here, right?
So I've got, man, I don't even remember how many I took. I took a lot of infantry squads.
You took 5 infantry squads, and you took 4 Scions.
Yeah, so 2 camped out there around the crystals. And then 1 in that building, the top middle.
Yep, 1 there, and then the other 2 in there. Yeah, and then for me, I've got 5 7-man Plague Marine squads, each with 2 Blight Launchers inside. I really like those Blight Launchers. They get, well, first of all, they're an assault weapon, right? Not a rapid fire weapon, which is pretty big, especially when you're considering that Plague Marines only have 5-inch movement, right? So you're kind of dealing with, they are kind of slow, and oftentimes it doesn't even really make sense to even shoot with your bolt guns, right? Because they're strength 4, no AP, only 1 damage, and it hardly ever does anything really good, especially at a longer range whenever you're trying to move your stuff up, right? But those Blight Launchers, only 24 inches, but they're assault weapons, assault 2. All right, so with let's see, I've got freaking quick maths here, 10 Blight Launchers buried in my list here. And they're strength 6, AP -2, damage 2. And they're plague weapons, which means they can reroll 1s onto wound. And if I have 3 chaos, or I have 3 demon princes running around, which give the rerolls 1s to hit. So I really like, I when I've done similar lists like this before, and I think a little bit in this game, you get a surprising amount of damage out of those Blight Launchers. Also,
pretty annoying.
Also, there's rumors of some pretty sick Blight Launcher stratagem support coming down potentially. I think it's. You remember what that stratagem was? I don't remember what it was called, but it was like 1 CP, and then if you get a hit, kind of like marker lights, I think, whereas like if you get a hit with a Blight Launcher on a unit, then any other shots going towards that unit from like the rest of your army gets like a +1 to hit or something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but I remember thinking like, man, that's going to be an annoying thing to deal with.
Yes. Well, especially if you if you combine that with, Veterans of the Long War, which is a super sick stratagem, and you could just build this whole thing where, like, if you could get Bolter Discipline off, where all of a sudden you're getting a ton of shots from this, Plague Marine squad that you're not worried about, but all of a sudden, they're all firing rapid fire, and then you get that stratagem off before, if you order things correctly. Yeah, so anything else? You want to talk about this big guy? Why you put in there?
Just should have put that Punisher on the bridge, backed up by the Knight.
Yeah, because we were doing Vanguard deployment, which if, it's kind of like this and this, So you could have definitely, popped him right there. It was like, what, from over here to, yeah.
And it's not like you have a lot of range threat in this list, so.
No.
Oh, well.
Yep, so let's get on with it. All right, it's pretty simple for me. I'm just moving up. I think I got a lot of shots off into this guards unit. Oh, yes, let's go back to that. All right, so this is a key moment in the game. Because if you had not done what you did in this turn, the very first shooting phase of the entire game, I would have won. So from the words of the horse himself, Kyle.
Yes, so you focused all your available shooting on this squad.
That's all I had.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't really want to lose first strike, so I'm gonna pop, take cover to improve their save, and that got me just enough, just enough to save the 2 guys.
Yeah,
and you were like, all right, I gotta kill. I'm like, no, you don't.
No, I knew it.
I'm an insane heroism. These guys, or whatever the stratagem is called, and deny you there. It's a lot of CPs, but it's worth it for that 1 point.
Yeah, well, I think that's the whole purpose behind that. That stratagem is to deny a situation like that, like a secondary, right? And in this case, with this mission, and by the way, the mission is No Mercy, which is just as simple as it gets. You just try and kill each other, and you get all the 3 normal secondaries apply. Slay the Warlord, Linebreaker, and First Blood. And then you get a point for every unit that you kill. So, no objectives we're trying to fight for. But, I knew it was coming, dude. I knew it was coming. But, when those 2 just freaking survived, I was like, ugh. Dang it. Did you think that was going to be the potential for the game, or deciding?
I didn't think it was going to come down to as like it did. I thought, this would give me a further lead. It's going to make you strain to focus on just 2 guardsmen for your next attack.
Right. Yeah. I think didn't I just come in and smite them?
There's something like that, yeah.
On the next turn, yeah, but yeah, those could have gone somewhere else for sure. And then you do a really good job. I don't think you mean it all the time, but you do a really good job of making sure I don't get First Blood, and it's freaking frustrating. There's so many times where it's like this, where you're like, oh, just 1 dude left, haha, 2 CP. Or it's like you're playing like orcs or something, and you have like 1 million CP because you have like 2 battalions and extra detachments and stuff.
Right.
But nevertheless, very important moment right there in the game. You never know, especially when it's easy to get caught up in the big picture, and then forget that in a game like this, where there's so many variables, the little things really matter. They can come together like that. You spent 2 CP, and
really I spent 3 CP because I did take cover.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's kind of not a very crucial squad there to use that for.
Yeah, no. But the fact that if I had gotten First Blood somehow, some other way, then you wouldn't have done that. If I had, I would be safe in saying that the reason you did that was to deny me that secondary, to deny me a victory point. Well, not just 1, but 2. But me killing the unit, that was going to happen. So I was going to get that victory point.
I knew that.
Yeah, but you denying me that secondary, where I can't get that back. I can't get that moment back. Because you get First Blood, and that's, so that was definitely a good spend. Little things, they do matter. So you just kind of move up. Any thoughts here?
No, how much did I move there? I moved the Punisher into position.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was it.
Yeah.
Maybe I moved my guardsmen around a little bit.
You tried to hide your guardsmen, I think. The wounded
Oh
squad.
yeah, that too. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I think you moved up. I think you moved like these guys up a little bit, kind of got them in position. You did that at some point.
Yeah, but I wanted you to slog across the table to me.
Yeah, and a slog did happen. All right. Yep, you wiped that squad.
Yeah.
And then got 3 from that squad.
Basilisks,
And
man. The basilisks in the night were the main firepower.
yeah, just go through the. I never remember exactly, and I really should. Isn't it like it's like an AP3 weapon or something like that?
What is
the basilisk?
Oh yeah, it's like it's an extremely powerful artillery piece.
And it doesn't need line of sight.
Nope.
Does it deny cover?
No, it doesn't do that. But
okay,
let me check. Roster here. So they have, man, I love those Earthshaker cannons. So it's an AP3. Range is 240, so they're shooting anywhere they want.
Yeah.
Heavy D6, strength 9, AP3, D3. Yeah, and
wait,
so when you roll for your attack type, you roll 2 dice and discard the lower one.
Yeah, and that's on the D6, right?
Yeah. Plus the regiment I was playing, I get to re-roll 1 of those dice.
Yeah, those Capic Eagles, right?
No, Capic Eagles is just for the Scions.
Okay.
I was doing a custom regiment.
Okay.
So either the custom regiment, which is like expert gunners, or the Catachans do that as well.
Okay. One thing I do want to talk about is, kind of going back a little bit. So you've got, well, you have a knight, right? You have a Punisher. You have two Leman Russes that are in range, and you have 2 basilisks. And all I lost out of all of my unprotected infantry was 1 full squad and 3 others.
Right.
So wasn't happy that I gave up first blood to you, especially since you had just denied me like you had. But I was very happy with that outcome of that first turn. And that's just the whole idea behind this list is to create this Plague Marine bubble with which to deliver the Demon Princes of Death, the 3 horsemen, into battle, and then they do bad things, and that it works really well because you have the I have 2 Plague Surgeons buried in there, so you've got the normal 3-up save, which is normally negated, especially with a lot of stuff that you brought. But then utilize cover, that helps a lot. And then also with the Disgusting Resilience on a 5-up, right? And with the Plague Surgeons buried in there, I have 2 of them to get, cover for both like flanks, if you will. You can reroll 1s on your Disgusting saves. So the other big, similar kind of build, and I think is often seen on the competitive scene, is Plague Bearer spam.
Yeah.
And you get up to 30 units, and then they get. I think it depends on what you're going for. Obviously, they're, Plague Marines. They don't have the 5-up invul that Plague Bearers get with Demon. Right. And they both have Disgusting Resilience, so there's that. But Plague Bearers can't shoot, all right? But if you have them in unit 20+, then they get the -1 to hit with the Cloud of Flies special rule. So, it's kind of a give and take. But like I said, with those Blight Launchers buried in, combined with the fact that, these Plague Marines, especially, a good number of them, on the table, they can stick around for a good long while and be very frustrating for your opponent to try and remove. You can get a lot out of it, Yeah. Yeah, just kind of doing this. So I will say this little area right up here with the northernmost demon prince, I kind of got more concerned with my obliterators that I was going to deep strike in and hopefully get some solid wounds off of the Night Warden. Deep strike in, but then I had the Master of Possession and the Dark Apostle there to specifically buff the obliterators with Warp Sight Plea and I can't remember the psychic power from they can reroll one of their flesh metal rolls is what it was. Yeah. Which both times I did it didn't like I either rerolled for the same thing or I rerolled for worse.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, but I kind of like got more concerned with keeping my auras together, which actually looking back on it, and there was another moment where I like kind of had a key misunderstanding of the rules, just like how we just discussed Veterans of the Long War.
Right.
I can't remember which one it was. It's either Warp Sight Plea or the psychic power that does thing. Muted Invigoration. That's Mutated Invigoration. I think it's actually both of them. I had this idea that it was like an aura, like a 6-inch aura if you got it off. You actually choose a unit, and I had 3 different obliterator units. So
right.
I could have put my unit of 2 obliterators, back in this aura and get that that benefit from Mutated Invigoration, and then use the other 2, which is kind of what I was originally thinking, and then like backed off of it in my brain subconsciously, and put those other obliterators up here in this like top right corner of the little courtyard piece in the center to effectively to have a better screen for my Demon Prince. But I didn't, and I think even if I would have not been able to get into my auras, I think it would have been more important for me to screen for my Demon Prince, because I think in this turn you got 5 wounds off of this Demon Prince. Yeah. And that was a big moment for sure in the game, because that was not the Demon Prince that I have Tainted Regeneration on, which is huge, by the way. And then like later on you were able to like kind of luckily kill the Demon Prince off with just the remaining 3 wounds, where if I had properly screened, it probably would have been a full health Demon Prince going into what happened later with the stuff over here, which we'll get to in a bit. But definitely a tactical error. I think after I placed everything down, I remembered what I was going for and how I, just like got ahead of my skis there. Easy to do. Totally happened here. I was like, dang it, that dude is so exposed right now. Like, this is not cool.
Yeah.
Yep. So dun. All right. Here we're getting to the good stuff here. So let's see if I can't skip a little bit ahead. Let's go back. There we go.
Oh,
I want to get that Valkyrie. All right. So I'm sure that if we're going to get a comment on anything, it might be on what happens in this turn. So what were you thinking, Kyle?
So I was sending my knight in just full tilt. My thought was, I need to slow down your progression because you're moving up too fast.
Right.
And I knew that would happen. That's part of the reason the knight is in this list, is to buffer my forces. It'll sit back until I'm ready for it to engage. And so my thought was, charge in. I'm going to wipe out a Demon Prince, maybe something else. I wasn't sure if you wanted to commit everything around it. And if you did, great. I'm going to blow him up. I'm going to spend a stratagem, and he'll blow up.
Yeah.
Deal more wounds all around. And if not, I'll have him leave combat, just walk right over you, shoot you in the back, and charge you again. Either way, great.
Yeah.
But he charged in, and he didn't kill anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that, and then I tried. You did attack it back. I spent the stratagem for him to blow up more easily. Failed it. Re-rolled it. Failed it. And
Yeah.
was just like, well, that was a colossal waste.
Yeah.
Like
Well.
I slowed you for a turn,
Mm,
but I needed to do more than that with this. How many points does this guy have? 451 points
yeah.
and 2 CP on this thing.
Yeah. And I'm kind of with you where I don't think that it was really necessarily the wrong tactical decision to do that, because I think if you would have left him back, then more than likely I'm getting both, maybe all of my demon princes, both my winged ones, and maybe all of them in for some fisticuffs. And then if you would have done that, then that would have been taking place in the heart of your whole list back here. And then,
Right.
with all the extra movement that you can get out of the assault phase and the charge phase and all that, with this, pile in and consolidation, like I could have tied up all of your shooting stuff,
Yeah.
and then really, really, really made you have a really bad day. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not. I was surprised. I was definitely surprised. Just because, to me, the knight is more of a shooty, sit back and just burn things into the ground sort of option. But so I think two major things happened that were definitely unforeseeable, and not only that, but against the odds for you, is that, like you mentioned, you didn't kill a single thing, and you should
I don't
have.
think I even dealt a single wound.
No, yeah,
That has a Reaper chainsword on the thing. Like,
yeah,
it's no slouch in combat.
yeah, you failed to kill the Obliterator, which was shocking.
Yeah, so I split my attacks. I gave half Reaper chainsword into the prince. The other half I used stomping
Mm-hmm.
on the obliterator, so that like triples my number of attacks. And they still have AP, they still have high strength because it's a knight.
Yeah,
Um, and just nothing.
yeah. Well, not only that, but at that time, that was a 3 wound Demon Prince, right?
Yeah,
This, because of the shooting phase that you just had, this Demon Prince only had 3 freaking wounds on it, because it was just like, wasn't it like it just ended up being equidistant from like your knight or something like that?
yeah,
Um, and so a wounded Demon Prince, you, in every possible imagination, you should have smited that thing out of existence,
yeah.
smoked
It's
it with
like
your foot.
I only need to land one hit
Yeah,
because the chainsword does 6 damage.
yeah. Um, and so I mean that was completely unforeseeable, and that could have changed. Like even if you had done that and then everything else happened the way it did happen, that would have been much 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 better for you in that game, for the rest of the game. And then also, in my next psychic phase, I do a ridiculous amount of wounds.
Yeah, I did what, 9
9
out of
wounds to you.
smite?
Yeah, I got 2 super smites off. So if you're new to the game, smite goes off on a warp charge of 5. But if you get the smite off on a roll of 10 or higher, then you can roll, instead of D3 mortal wounds, D6 mortal wounds. And I did that twice, and I got 4 wounds off of both of those. And then another smite snuck in there. So that was just, that was, it all came together, for the demise of the knight, I think. And so, yes, you charge it in, you lose it. Definitely don't get your points out of it that you should have, but you should have. I don't think that it was a bad decision. I just think that like the fates just decided this was not your glorious last stand, or it was it was your last stand, just not so glorious,
Right, yeah.
I don't know. I just feel some comments coming I just feel it. I don't know why. I just do. Any other comments on like what you're thinking about here?
Now, just is like, he's all consolidated there.
Yep.
Times now.
Oh yeah. Oh, what you had just described to me sounds amazing. Doing that and then like jumping over with your super heavy walker and then shooting and then charging again. That would have just wrecked my day.
Yeah, because I would have caught your characters out in the open, exposed, like shoot whoever I want with whatever I want. So
yeah, it was good. It was ballsy. I like it. Respect.
Next time, Blizzard 1. Next time.
Yep. And yeah, so yes, and then here we go. So all right, so here I want to talk about some kind of what I was thinking, and really, you know what? So okay, here before the assault phase happens, I'm thinking, all right, cool. I want to kill this thing, but I want to make the most out of having a unit that is already tied up, a big unit at that has lots of space on its model, on its base. I want to utilize that to kind of slingshot as much stuff as I can forward.
Right.
It's kind of what I was thinking, and I think like you had said something about how long I was taking to try and figure this out. Just kind of like maximize the movement potential.
Yeah.
And let's see if we just skip ahead here to the outcome. And boom. Yeah. So the knight dies, and kind of like what we said. So what ended up happening is I charged like almost everything over here into the knight. I charged this Plague Marine squad, so I realized at this moment, first of all, my first priority was to rebuild my screen, because my Demon Prince was completely, well, both of these Demon Princes actually now all of my Demon Princes, because you can't see it on the other side of the smoke, but my Warlord Demon Prince jumped over from over here in the charge and like consolidate all that stuff all the way over here, and so I charged these guys in here, and then I rolled like a 10 on the charge, so I was able to move them all the way up here. This guy was within 1 inch, so I satisfied my charge phase requirements. Then I was able to get all these guys all the way up here and re-engage this screen here, which I think was pretty solid. I was very happy with that I was able to pull that off. And then over here, right behind this smoke cloud that you can't see, I'd mentioned my Warlord Demon Prince. My whole idea, and if I had pre-measured properly, which I thought I did, and I just got ahead of myself again, I was trying to make this thing happen to where he fights and then this thing dies, the Imperial Knight dies, and then I can consolidate into the Predator without any sort of overwatch. I didn't even have the distance between here. I think it was over 4 inches, so I couldn't even have made that happen.
Right.
And like I said, if I would have pre-measured appropriately, I would have figured that out. However, once I got him over there, I was like, oh, dang it. And then not only that, but I also remembered, like, oh, counteroffensive. So, yeah, like he didn't kill anything the last time, but that doesn't mean he's not about to make my Warlord hurt or dead. Very possibly dead. And so all of a sudden my priorities changed very, very fast. And so I killed, you had not very many wounds left. And struck, also I got the Gift of Contagion off of you, dropping your toughness to toughness 7. That was also huge.
Yeah.
That right there. So again, there's just a major confluence of bad, unfortunate series of events for the knight in this game. Like everything bad happened to it, and everything I needed to happen happened so this thing could die. So a toughness 7 knight is very different. then a toughness 8 knight. Like, night and day difference. Ha! I did it again. Did you catch it? Yes. Yeah, so anyways, I realized, oh crap, he's going to counteroffensive and crush something. So I had to fight with the Demon Prince over here first. So I didn't get any sort of pile-in or consolidation because he killed him, which was good. That was what's supposed to happen, so counteroffensive couldn't go off. Especially since Death Guard, they don't have like an only in death does duty end stratagem.
Right.
Right, so that's... that it hurts. And so if you would have killed something, aka one of my Demon Princes, which were all engaged with your Imperial Knight, that would have been really, really bad.
Yeah, I probably would have picked at your Warlord just for the opportunity to do that much damage.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 2-up save, right? With the super rating plate. But I still think, I still think
5-up.
Right. Yeah, so either way, he would have been utilizing his 5-up demonic invuln. So he had the same chances as anything else. Yeah, no, I really kind of knew that if I messed up my events here, my order of events, then yeah, you were gonna make me pay. And then what happened the last turn, you didn't kill anything, was not gonna happen again. And you're probably gonna kill multiple things that are very important and very dear to my list here. So yeah, that's kind of, I was torn between some ideas. I did get a lot of movement utilized out of this being able to charge the knight there. Got a lot of my stuff up further, which is also what I needed just because of my, no transports or anything. I need to get up here. Rebuild this
basically a turn of not moving because I blocked you.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So that was like an important moment for me in the game. Kind of both good pros and cons to it, but any thoughts on how this whole thing went down?
No, just disappointment.
Yeah. It was gonna happen, man. It was gonna happen. Dude, that was the first time I'd played against a knight, and so I was intimidated, and then you charged him in. I was like, okay.
And you should have been more intimidated at that point.
I know. Yeah. Oh. I think when with the Wraith Knight in the last game with Andrew, when he did, I'm pretty sure there's probably the same exact stomping rules. If not, they're extremely similar. But yeah, he just like, I think that's what he killed Murderfang with. And I was like, oh, jeez, that wasn't even his like melee weapon. That was just his feet. Like,
yeah,
crap.
Imagine fighting a Castellan.
Oh yeah, 30 wounds, and I'm sure it's got some other
charging you.
Yeah. Yep. All right, so let's move it right along. All right, here we go.
That Valkyrie. Weapons on the Valkyrie are great, but the capability of the platform is pretty impressive.
The
fact, it's transport. I didn't transport anything this game.
Yeah.
But just the buzz somewhere, stop, hover, get +1 to your shooting, take off again, go back to hover. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, you got quite a bit out of it. Enough to where like I realized like if I didn't do something to this thing later on in the game, like this is gonna the problem of this thing in this game is gonna compound really pretty quickly,
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a lot of work out of it for sure. So those joining us maybe for the first time, if not, like I said, go back, watch that battle report. But he destructed Scions. He's got one Scion squad here, one Scion squad
it's so hard to
here.
see.
Yeah. And then another one here, and then he's in the process of placing one up here at the very precipice of this ruin. So, yeah. And then also your Tempester Prime is over here, I think.
Yeah, it's with the 2. Or there's kind of like 3 squads over there.
Yeah. So there's one thing that was really, really good is that about what you did here is that all of these are characters. There's no screen going on, right? So you're able to just drop in there and just start picking at the organs of my list here. And yeah, so I will say, like, you usually keep something in Deep Strike, and especially from like a lot of our earlier games, your as you call them, Rescue Rangers. Rescue, is that what you call them?
Rescue Rangers, yeah.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. It's a drop pod with the Grav Cannon Devastator squad with is it a captain?
The captain and a banner.
Captain and a banner. Oh.
If you kill them, they shoot you anyway.
Yeah, and you have like four just like Joes to waste before you even touch the Grav Cannons.
Yeah.
Oh, man. These, even though there's many more models, much, much less scary than that stuff dropping in. Or like... Yeah,
these aren't Space Marines.
No, for sure.
They're good at killing them, though.
Yeah.
But therein lies the problem with this part of my list is you are not Space Marines. Right. You look like them. Yeah. You act like them, but you're not. You're much tougher, and that's a big problem for those squads.
Mm-hmm.
Because their primary weapon that I'm packing in there is the hotshot volley guns.
Yeah.
But those are Space Marine melters, but they're only strength 4.
Yeah.
So against Plague Marines, very ineffective. And I didn't really consider that when I was placing them. So yeah, I placed them and was like, all right, I'm not gonna kill, a lot of Plague Marines, but I'll kill a few.
Yeah.
No, I really didn't kill any.
No, you spent... I don't think you killed a single...
I think I killed one character.
You killed...
like 2 squads, and then maybe another wound on top of that.
Because you targeted the Plague Surgeon, because he's the rearmost here. There's a Plague Surgeon. So you killed him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you killed him. But that was it. Even with this squad over here, you did, like nothing over here, right?
Yeah. Even maybe I killed one over there. I don't think I did.
Yeah. Yeah, either way, another huge bonus to Death Guard / Nurgle stuff / Plague Marines. Toughness 5, man. It is just, it's one difference. And so I have a theory, for new players. Here's my theory. I have a theory that for the vast majority of situations in 40K, the numbers numbers 6 and 7, they don't matter. Anything over 9 doesn't matter, and anything under 4 doesn't matter. The only numbers that you care about are 4, 5, 8, and 9. That's it. All you care about. For the most of what you're going to see in 40K. Because all your decent, like the standard toughness is toughness 4, right? And then the standard good toughness is toughness 8, right? So you have... So my point being is when you're trying to build a list, there's certain buffs and whatnot that might be very tempting to spend points on, but really are not worth it, right? So I was looking at some like Demon Chaos, Nurgle Chaos Demons kind of list building a little bit, and / just Chaos Demons, and I was noticing the the heralds of whatever, they all have like the whatever the special rule name is, but it increases the strength of like surrounding Nurgle or Khorne or whatever units, right? You're like, oh, that's really cool. But then if you actually look at that a little bit more, if you can't, and then I think there's another instance where you could increase the strength. Either way, it was something where I was like, it was really tempting to sit there and be like, oh, cool, I could get this up to, strength 6 or strength 7. All right, yeah. But if you're not cresting that strength 8 threshold, it really doesn't matter. Like, because you're not gonna double toughness 4, which is most of the time the toughness that you're gonna see out there, and you're not gonna break that threshold to get 4-ups to wound against toughness 8 models, which is the big bad things that are walking around in the 40k universe that you're really worried about, like that knight, right?
Yeah.
It's so but in this case, kind of around this whole theory, the very fact that almost every single thing is, other than my Master of Possession and the Dark Apostle, and I think the Obliterators too. Obliterators might be T5. Everything else is T5 or greater, you know? And that's huge because, like, your list is optimized, being kind of like, you know, the Imperial Guards, they're like humans, right? And they're like, their good stuff is like, oh yes, we got Strength 4 stuff. We can finally kill Space Marines.
Right.
And then like, I just have this one difference between T4 and T5. I know when I was first looking at Death Guard, I glossed over it so many times. It never really like dawned on me. And then one day it just did. I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually huge. So yeah, that's my theory. There's certain thresholds in the game that are worth noting, and if you don't get up to those thresholds, like if you're spending points, a ton of points to get a strength, get +1 strength to get from like strength 5 to strength 6 or something, like you're probably just wasting points. Or even strength 6 to strength 7. You're probably wasting points. You know? So don't. Spend them elsewhere.
Yeah.
Any soapboxes you want to jump on there, Kyle?
No.
All right.
So what I think I should have done with my Scions more is increase my screen. I should have parked at least one squad in front of those Leman Russes.
Yeah. Yeah, So I was when you started doing this, I was like, ah, crap, because the Imperial Knight jumping in here, the Night Warden doing his thing, like it definitely messed up my flow of stuff.
Yeah.
And then all the charging and whatnot, and like I said, my Warlord over here, and even this Demon Prince, are really exposed. This one I was able to, you know, bury back into a pretty effective screen. That was fine. But it really did throw me for a loop, having that giant Imperial Knight right in my face. And then you dropped in all of these dudes in my rear, and it was just like, oh, crap. You know, I know there's lots of big, bad, dangerous things over here that are hard to kill, that are, you know, targeting me. So it did throw me for a loop, but then I kind of got to thinking about it. I was like, this Demon Prince over here only has 3 wounds left. But if he gets in there, he could easily end up killing everything over here by himself.
Yeah.
Especially just with like getting the charges off and then you know, consolidating into the next unit, you know, sort of thing. So yeah, and then here I just like, I think with this case I wiped this squad with fire from this Plague Marine squad, because I just like, I either stopped them or I ran them forward or something like that. I think I popped Veterans of the Long War there. So yeah, I mean, in effect, I think, and I don't know if there's any way, or honestly, around this. Even if you put them in front, I think I still would have killed them all. But 4 easy pickup victory points there for me.
Yeah.
And then, you know, another one over here once I get there, sort of thing. So yeah. But kind of like you said, like if I had just been Space Marines or like Space Wolves or something, or anything but Plague Marines and Nurgle and Death Guard, it could have been an entirely different outcome.
Yeah.
You just drop it in and just start smoking dudes. That would have been bad.
Yeah.
Yep. Moving along. Here we go. Yep, here we go. We're getting some. Let's get some more. Yes, so... Alright. Here we go. Okay, so... This is at the end of my turn, right?
Yeah.
Look at my Demon Prince over here. Wipe this squad. I wasn't able to fight your Tempestor Prime because he was just too far away with your 5 other Scions in the way. And then I wasn't able to tie up. I think you had jumped this unit up on the 2nd level, right?
Yeah.
So I wasn't able to tie them up.
I had dropped them there to begin with. So.
You did? Okay, yeah. Wasn't able to tie them up. Just kind of ended up being bad. I wasn't worried about it at the time. So I was like, all right, this is going great. Dropped this whole squad here with fire from there. Awesome. I didn't have much to deal with this squad over here, but that ended up not being a problem. Over here, this was really good for me just because I rolled really well on my charge phase, on my charge roll.
Yeah.
I multi-charged the Crusaders right here. And they've got Storm Shields, so 3-up Invuln, right? They have Power Swords?
Yeah.
Alright, so that's like what? AP -3, damage 1?
Yeah.
Okay. They did have... So explain to me the prayer thing.
So, beginning of the turn, I can roll for a prayer, and on a 2-up they get it. It can either be they get a free move, they get a free attack, they can revive one of their guys, and then the other one is like they can shoot, but they don't even have ranged weapons, so that doesn't matter.
So is it you pray and then you can choose, or do you have to choose and then pray?
Let's see here. Roll d6 at the start of your turns. On a 2-up, one of your units from your army with this ability can perform an act of faith chosen from the following list. So roll it first.
Ooh, that's...
Right. I typically know what I'm going to do before I roll anyway. It's not like a tough choice.
Right. But the fact that yeah, I mean, I guess it's true. If you know what you're going to do, then really not going to change that. But the fact that you don't, like, you get going and you commit to something, you declare it, and then, like, realize, oh no, I should have done this, you know.
Yeah.
I guess it would be different if it was... I guess it's not different because they're all the same role. But if they were different roles, if different varying degrees of difficulty, then like to get off kind of like psychic powers sort of thing.
Right.
But yeah, so you brought a couple dudes back, I think. I know for one for sure, but at least a couple with that prayer business. But yeah, no, I was a little worried about them. Just because, like, with the storm shields, I don't think I could get all of them.
Right.
And
yeah, just a screen. That's all. They're not meant to kill necessarily. Just they're meant to stop.
Yeah, and just the power swords being AP -3. I was a little worried there. Yeah. So I multi-charged. Because it was the closest thing, and it was like 6 inches away or something. But I ended up rolling really well at like a 10. And I multi-charged the tank back here, which I thought the one on the left here was your leader guy. But it was in fact the other one. And I didn't ask you. You would have been a gentleman and told me. But I just went, I was like so confident, And, yep. Anyways, so I killed Lehman Russ. It's just not the one I wanted to kill.
Yeah.
And consolidated into the other one, which is good because, if you're getting into the game and you're like experiencing frustrations with the fact that your opponent can just like freely fall back in his turn, and he can't shoot he can't like shoot in assault, right? Or advance or something like that in the next turn. But he can just leave combat and you don't get a chance to do anything, which is very different from previous 40k rules and a lot of different Games Workshop games. Like Necromunda would have some like hardcore penalties for trying to leave, at least the old Necromunda. So anyways, this is a situation where it's actually I wanted him to fall back. Because he fell back with the Lehman Russ, because obviously he didn't want to stay and fight that thing. And if I charged again, he wanted to get some Overwatch off. But it keeps him from shooting in his shooting phase the next turn. and then that frees my dude up to go into his Basilisk or anything else over here that I want, if he was able to survive. But him falling back the way he does, now my Demon Prince is is the closest thing to everything in his list. So yeah, you ended up killing the Demon Prince, and which was all right. It was expected, kind of. It would have been really nice. You know, with Death Guard, man, sometimes you don't know, dude. Sometimes they just hang on despite the odds. Like, they will not die. And then sometimes, it's just like, yeah, you expected it. That's probably what was going to happen, and it ended up happening.
When you start bothering the tank line, it will die.
Yeah. It got close though, dude. You had to throw everything at that thing to kill it.
I was trying to save some fire for your Warlord.
Yeah, that was another thing, is that another reason why I was kind of okay with this was because, granted, all right, so this kind of could go one of both ways. He had Blades of Putrefaction, which actually really ended up not mattering that much. But anyways, he's got the Demon Axe, so it gets +1 in strength. So now instead of strength 7, he's getting the strength 8. There you go, that threshold that I was talking about. Now he can wound on a 4-up against the toughness 8 Leman Russes. Our Basilisks are toughness 8 too, right?
I think the Armageddon pattern ones are, yeah.
Okay.
Which is what I use.
Okay.
That toughness 8 big deal.
Yeah.
No, they're only 7.
Okay. But nevertheless, I still had a Leman Russ over there that if you're wounding on a 5-up instead of a 4-up, then you're probably not just gonna be able to one-shot it, right? And that's what I did to this other Leman Russ. So I was able to one-shot it with the Demon Axe, but if there's been Malefic Talons, then most likely that Leman Russ would have survived. I wouldn't have been able to kill it in one turn like I did with the Demon Axe. But so yeah, this was my tank killer. This was my damage, my high toughness dealer with, if you will. So I was very sad to see him go, but he took all this firepower, and then my Warlord did not, and he was able to hang on. But no, this was a good turn for you, dude. This going into your next turn.
Not good enough though.
Yeah, but it was still you killed the Demon Prince. I was really feeling it. I was feeling it in my bones he was gonna hang on by 1 wound. That probably would have been the game, dude. If he would have.
Then I would have charged him with the Crusaders, though.
Oh, that's true.
He was going to die.
That's true. Yeah, but over here, what I was not expecting was you to kill the Demon Prince. Over here, with 3 wounds left, and you.
I didn't expect that either.
Oh man, what was it? You got off. So you had the hot shot, volley gun. What is the other weapon that you had in there? Like a frag launcher?
No, just a hot shot las gun.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Man, are those... What's the damage on the hot shot volley? Is it variable, or is it...
It's just 1.
Just 1? Oh.
They're Space Marine killers.
Yep. I just remember it being... You got exactly what you needed to get, and it was very unlikely, and yet there it was.
Yeah.
And then I failed all of my disgustings. I just needed 1 freaking disgust. Okay, I had 3 disgustings to roll. Statistically, I could get 1, right? It's supposed to happen. I didn't get 1. Killed the Demon Prince. Dang it. It was okay because I was able to deal with the rest of this over here with my Master Possession and Dark Apostle. But it was still sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's see. I want to say there's a saga to be written about this Plague Marine. Right
The one on the
here.
corner. Charged him. I should not have charged him. I should have just let him be.
Yeah.
But I was like, it's just 1 Plague Marine. I got 6 guys here. 1 has a power sword.
Yeah. There it is. Yes. Yeah, so yeah, you jump down here and you charge him, and he didn't do anything to him. And then I was able to kill 1 back. It's important to note that previously I had spent 2 of my CP, which I was actually struggling to spend CP. Just because the Death Guard stratagems, there's not a lot in my list that interacts with the stratagems in the book right now.
Yeah.
There's not a lot at all. Like a lot of Hellbrute centric stuff, a lot of there's nothing for Demon Princes, at all. I think the only thing that affects my list really would be Veterans of the Long War. But that's just the infantry. Nevertheless, I was struggling to spend CP, so I had plenty of CP to spend for the 2 for the Insane Bravery, whatever it's called, to make this Plague Marine stick around in the last phase, just to deny him a point. And honestly, I was kind of expecting this dude to live through the rest of the game, mainly because when you dropped your Scions in the back over here, that kind of screwed up my plan, but my idea here was spend the 2 CP there, he'd stay alive, he'd just go behind this building and just hide, deny you the point, and then everything else would be pushing up, and you'd be shooting at everything else anyways, because it's about to charge you or whatever.
Right.
So I felt like it was good. It was 2 CPs worth spending, and it was also a Blight Launcher, so he could have a chance of knocking a couple wounds off of the Valkyrie there or whatnot.
Right.
Yeah, no, didn't die, and then held him up long enough for my Plague Marines and then my next turn to come in and do some damage and wipe the rest of that Scion squad. Also, it's very interesting. We might get a comment or two about this, but your Valkyrie, put him in hover.
Yep.
And something that I actually was, here we go, was not sure about. We double checked the rules 2 or 3 times, both me and Kyle, just to make sure. But he went to hover, which means you lose the airborne rule, which means that things on the ground, like my Malignant Plaguecaster here, can actually fight the Valkyrie, which is cool. So yeah, I was expecting to kill. No, that's a lie. I wasn't expecting to kill the Valkyrie. I was actually pretty surprised at how close I got.
Yeah.
But my strategy there was the Plague Marines here. This is still a full squad of 7 Plague Marines. The one that has made it through. They were back here a ways, and basically I left them all stationary so that they could all shoot with rapid fire going off with Bolter Discipline into the Valkyrie, and then spent the CP on Veterans of the Long War. And I was actually, with both of the Blight Launchers in there as well, I was actually able to do a pretty decent amount of damage. Previously, before that, did some damage with Smite. And then, because you were in hover, charged my Malignant Plaguecaster in, and I could have ended up killing the Valkyrie. I didn't. Obviously, I had 2 wounds left, but it came pretty close.
Yeah, that was a bait.
Was it? Yeah, so what were you thinking?
I wanted to get your firepower off my guardsman. And the fact that you charged that character in made me pretty happy, because that meant I could target him really easily.
Yeah.
And he's much easier to kill than a squad of Plague Marines for an equal amount of points.
Right. So, my thoughts as far as charging that in, so yeah, definitely getting him way out there, really exposed, for sure. He's still in cover, but the thing is that this was the only thing I had left to screen with anything.
Yeah.
And so my screen was, and before this, I was able to slingshot them forward by getting the charge off on those Scions over here and then killing them and then being able to consolidate even further.
Right.
So they were way back, and there's no chance I was going to be able to screen, I guess, unless I just left the Malignant Plaguecaster completely where he was, or even moved him back. But I don't know, man. I wanted to kill that Valkyrie. Yeah. That would have been great for me. That would have been great. Were you expecting me to get it down to 2 wounds?
No, that did surprise me. I was like, oh, he got it down farther than I thought he would.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So while we've been talking, since I opened up my list to look at the basilisks and the knight and all that, I've already taken off those power swords from my my scions to remove the temptation to charge again.
Yeah. Again, I think that was another. Well, he just would have been striking with strength 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so the T5 in that sense doesn't really matter. Because
No.
T4 would have been the same difference. I don't think you wounded at all, right?
No. No, I did not.
Yeah, because if you would have wounded, then that you probably would have killed him.
Yeah.
At least one, But yeah. I think.
So this is the last turn.
Yeah, this is it.
And I desperately wanted to kill your warlord.
Yes.
I fell back with my crusaders,
Uh-huh.
thinking I'm going to screen my tank with them. That was a dumb. First of all, that was stupid.
Oh, yeah.
How am I going to screen with 2 crusaders against a winged demon prince?
Yeah.
For the demon rush. I don't know.
He's talking over here.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking with that. Like, falling back was the right move. It's just how I fell back was kind of silly.
Right. Yeah, because if you didn't fall back, then you wouldn't have been able to shoot. However, your Punisher, man, it was remarkably ineffective. This whole game.
It's an anti-horde vehicle, and there's no horde here.
It's an anti-horde that is not T5 vehicle.
No, well.
Is it strength 5?
Yeah, it's all the weapons are strength 5 on it.
Okay.
But the thing is, I was mostly targeting demon princes with the whole game.
Right.
I think I targeted Plague Marines once.
Right. Even then, against when I was playing Chris and he like spams big shooters with his orcs, and which are strength 5. He.
That's not 40 shots of Punisher.
No, it's not. But he gets that many shots through his whole freaking list. Not from one unit, but he gets a lot of shots.
Yeah.
But granted, at a much less ballistic skill, I think. Or is it the same? No.
Neiman Russ is a ballistic skill 4.
Well, and
but there was even a turn where I did Vengeance for Cadia, where I rerolled hits and wounds.
Yeah.
And I think I hit like 75% of my shots.
Right.
And wounded half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because of that.
Well, and it has no AP, right?
Right.
Yeah, so I know that you targeted that Demon Prince at least twice.
Yeah.
And he has the super rating plate, which is a 2-up save.
Yeah, so I think I did like 3 wounds total with that Punisher.
Yeah. The difference between a 2-up save and a 3-up save, and not only that, but the difference between a 2-up save without Disgustingly Resilient and with is huge. Because you got a ton of wounds or a ton of hits, and then even wounds. But then I was able to save pretty much all of them, and the ones that I didn't, you end up mitigating a ton of damage throughout the game with Disgustingly Resilient. Not only that, but being my warlord, Tainted Regeneration, per battle round, he's getting 2 wounds back because he gains a wound at the beginning of each player's turn. He bounces back pretty quickly. But yes, at the end of this turn, because so my 3 wound Demon Prince, Malignant Plaguecaster here, ended up taking what you like double ranked, or what is it called?
First rank fire, second rank fire.
Right. And what happens there exactly?
Doubles their fire output. So they change from rapid fire 1 to rapid fire 2.
Okay.
So I'm putting out 4 shots per guardsman.
Yeah, no, that's so he did that there. There's a full squad, right? 10?
Yeah.
Did you still have a full squad here?
Yeah, basically, I had full squads until you would fire on them and they would die.
Yeah. Okay.
So as long as I had a squad, it was full.
You're right. And then yeah, so he poured a ton of fire, and then what? You had to shoot with like your tank and a basilisk, right? To
Yeah,
kill the
probably the
malignant plague.
Valkyrie as well.
Yeah. Um, and then which meant that you only had one basilisk to put into my demon prince over here. So in effect, what ended up happening, my demon prince warlord survived with one wound left, which is
One
also
wound.
if that hadn't happened, then you would have won the game because you would have got that secondary of slay the warlord.
On top of another point.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, yep.
Yeah. So my Crusaders, I was going to do a last-ditch effort, charge you with my Leman Rust, with crush them, where I hit you on 2s.
Yeah. Well, so you hit me on 2s, and then what is the? It's what strength?
2s are strength, so it's strength 7.
Strength 7. Okay, yeah, that would have been pretty solid.
Yeah.
How many attacks?
They got 3 attacks.
Okay, so and that's not. Is that like that's the normal bracket where it's like the second tier is like D3 attacks and then 1 attack?
Right. Correct.
Okay. Yeah, no, yeah, that could have. Well, I only had 1 wound left after shooting, so yeah, that would have been pretty huge. Or even you rolling double 1s here with your charge from these guardsmen. You know,
Yeah.
I had 1 wound left, right? You could have easily
gotten a lucky bayonet in there.
Yeah, for sure. Didn't happen, man. And then we roll a freaking 2 at the end of turn 5.
Yeah.
And it ends the game. And according to the rule book, like the game's just over, you know. There's no like sudden death or carry on. Which we're family men, so we had wives and kids to get back to, so I think we were both pretty relieved because this game was going on for a little while.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this was a crazy game and it was a lot of fun, and I did not expect to tie with you.
Yeah.
I was expecting to get rolled up.
Yeah, I had a very strong early game, and then you closed it at the end.
Yeah. Well, and I think my list did exactly what it was designed to do, in that it delivered those demon princes. I think I don't know if I could have done much about kind of the order in which it would have been better if I could have like kind of had a concerted push with all 3 of my demon princes into your backfield here. Right?
Yeah. Horrible.
the scions, I honestly I wonder if I would have just left this Plague Marine squad back there along with the Master Possessions and Dark Apostle and Tallyman and Plagueser, all these characters, just send them back to deal with the Scions, or even just leave the Plague Marines where they're at so they can bolter discipline things to death.
Yeah.
And then by the time we get to this point in the game, the characters back there, the Dark Apostle and the Master Possessions, which the Dark Apostle at least, and the Master, they're pretty good in melee, especially against toughness 3 models. They probably could have handled that just fine.
Yeah.
Honestly, and I could have spent this could have been my 3 wound Demon Prince. And then my Warlord Demon Prince could be supporting the Demon Axe Demon Prince all the way back here in your backfield.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. There was a lot of ups and downs in this game.
Yeah.
A lot of little rallies and then pushbacks and whatnot. It was a great game.
Yeah.
Any parting thoughts?
It just came down to positioning for me.
Yeah.
For the most part.
How so?
Just that Punisher, the Scions. Those were my Crusader screen could have been better when your Axe Demon Prince came in. The little things.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say that you did keep these guys in this building a long time, considering that I didn't really have shooting.
They were screening.
Yeah.
Because I was worried that you were going to fly through there, and I was not going to give you a place to land.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, because I think you did still deny me that kind of free path with this Demon Prince. Yeah. At one point in the game where that was kind of what I was hoping to do, and then I couldn't.
Yeah, because I spread them out. Like I saw you come, I was like, nope, okay, time to spread out.
Yeah, 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 for sure. What is it called when you like, double arm length or whatever?
Double arm interval.
Yeah, it's double arm intervals. Move. If you know what we're talking about, we salute
Shame
you.
on you.
Oh. Okay. Oh, that
awkward.
Well, on that disappointment, thanks for joining us. Yeah, hopefully you guys can take something away from this. Like I said, this is an amazing game. It was really fun to play. And yeah, so check us out. This is kind of our format that we're doing: battle report, and then in-depth analysis. Please leave your comments. Tell us what you think about it. Tell us, commit some, give us some insights on kind of how you thought this, that, or whatever went, or any different tactics. That would be great. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, obviously YouTube. Here we are. And yeah, thanks for joining us. And y'all have a good night.
Or day.